Thank you very much. Now in English, after 9 years of Trudeau, everything is broken. Everything is broken because he is a weak leader who has lost control. He has lost control of spending, which has doubled. The debt has doubled. Housing costs have doubled. Food bank use have doubled. He has done this through a costly carbon tax that's driven up food prices 37% faster in Canada than in the United States of America. We have the worst housing inflation and the worst household debt of any G7 country. $500 billion net has left our country to invest in the United States, creating jobs for American workers with our money. Our GDP per capita is smaller than it was 10 years ago and has dropped more since before COVID than any other G7 country, all while the American economy has boomed. Now we face new threats to our brittle and weak economy. The reality is we have a weakened economy, a weakened border, a weakened military, and a severely weakened prime minister. He's desperate. He's lost control, but he's trying to hold on to power. And so he's come up with a irresponsible and inflationist $6 billion tax trick that he will take away right before raising the carbon tax on heat, housing, groceries, and gas in just a few months. Common sense conservatives will vote against this irresponsible, inflationist temporary 2-month tax trick and instead push our plan to axe the carbon tax and axe the sales tax on new homes for everyone for good. And I would add that now is the worst possible time to be blowing $6 billion trying to save Justin Trudeau's political skin, especially with the threats coming from the United States, with our border in chaos, our economy collapsing, and everything broken. We need real, responsible leadership from a strong, smart prime minister who has the brains and backbone to put Canada first. Thank you.
Mr. Poilievre, have you or anyone associated with your...
I thought you liked the idea of cutting taxes.
This isn't, that's why I'm opposed to this. This isn't a tax cut. This is an inflationary 2-month temporary tax trick that will drive up the cost of living. Even today, the food professor was out saying this measure will make food even more expensive. That's what happens when government dumps a bunch of cash into the country without creating more of what cash buys. We need tax relief that actually encourages the economy to produce more of the stuff cash buys, grow more food, build more homes, and produce more energy. If you got an economy with 10 loaves of bread and $10, it's $1 a loaf. If you double the number of dollars to 20, but you still only have 10 loaves of bread, you're not twice as rich. It just means that each loaf of bread costs twice as much. You got to produce more grains and bake more bread rather than creating more cash. And that's what my tax cuts are not just about lowering costs. They're about sparking more production. By axing the carbon tax, our businesses can hire more workers and produce more goods. By axing the sales tax, we're going to get 30,000 extra homes per year every year. By getting rid of the energy cap, we're going to produce more affordable energy. So instead of creating cash, we're going to create more of what cash buys, and our purchasing power will go further.
If the government needs to pass new spending to better secure its borders, would you support that?
Why haven't they done it? They broke the border. Justin Trudeau broke the border. We didn't have these problems before Justin Trudeau. We didn't have Roxham Road before Justin Trudeau. We didn't have these illegal border crossings before Justin Trudeau. We didn't have, the number of asylum claims have gone from 10,000 to over 200,000 under Justin Trudeau, more than 20-fold increase. All the chaos at our border is the result of Justin Trudeau. It's his job to come up with a plan today. You know what we're seeing now, though, is that because the Prime Minister has vacated the border and turned it open to anyone who wants to come in. The premiers are now taking responsibility for our border. Trudeau wants to be in charge of all these provincial areas of jurisdiction, and yet he's not taking care of the one federal job that is most the responsibility of the federal government, which is the border. So we have Quebec sending in the Sûreté du Québec, their police force, to secure the border. Premier Smith, common sense leader, is proposing to use drones, provincial drones, and other police law enforcement measures from her province to secure the borders there. I understand Doug Ford is looking at something similar. So now, because Trudeau has so thoroughly broken the border, we're getting a patchwork of premiers who have no choice but to try and hold the border together with bubble gum, scotch tape, and elastic bands. Just everything is broken after Justin Trudeau. We need a carbon tax election to fire him and bring in a strong prime minister who can rebuild our borders.